We are live. We are live, good people.
What's
Kris.
going on, people? It is the Kris and Gina show. If you notice, the beautiful woman next to Gina B is not me. I'm over here on location. Uh, Today's show is Are Women Too Picky? But before we get into it, Gina B, I know you'll like this. I've been letting everybody know what day is. It's actually International Cat Day. So I think
Cat
you can
Day.
appreciate it's International Cat Day. It's National CBD Day.
Okay, I'm into both those things.
Exactly. And I think you're into all three. It's actually also National Book Lovers Day.
Oh, I
Oh,
like them all. I like all of those
this is
things.
Gina's day.
This is
This
my
is Gina's
day.
Day.
I like cats, I like CBD, and I like
And
books.
Chantel and I are still celebrating the great sweet tea party
Oh,
down
fade
in
in the
Mobile,
water?
Alabama.
Fade in the water? Yes, I'm still reeling over all the memes and the
I'm,
songs.
I've
Are
been
we
loving
having
it.
fun with that, you guys? Are we having too much fun?
Absolutely.
I love
Now,
it.
look, before we talk, and Gina B, I'm going to let you lead this questioning because technically I'm on vacation.
Okay.
So, but we have a guest, and I'll let you take over. I think Dustin is somewhere, and he's going to join us.
Dustin is somewhere. He's not there yet. I mean, we don't. Do we
Oh,
see
he's
him? There he
back.
is. He's back. Okay, very cool.
Hello. Can
All
you hear
right,
me?
Dustin is now in a.
What's
Okay,
good,
he's.
Dustin?
How y'all doing?
All right, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for coming and for being in a quiet environment. So, here's the deal. I brought Dustin on the show. So, this topic is actually sparked by a story that Dustin shared. So that's why he needed to be on the show so that he can give a condensed version of the story, which led me to ask the question, and it was my question: are women too fussy to have a successful dating relationship? Who's got
Oh,
music? Okay.
Mm.
So,
Mhm.
you know, I guess I'm gonna let Dustin, turn the music down if you've got it up.
I don't think
Okay.
he can. I think he's in a bar.
Oh my God.
No, I'm not. I'm not in the bar. Give me a second.
Okay.
I'm gonna figure this whole thing out.
Well, let's share
Okay.
the story while we're figuring it out.
All right. So you want to hear the story? How
Absolutely.
much?
Let's go.
How much time do I have to share this story? I mean, like,
Okay, just give us a condensed version.
Yeah,
You don't have
give us
to.
the short version of the story. We'll have
Okay,
all
go right
right,
ahead.
all right. I slid in a woman's DMs on Facebook, and it's one of those things where it's like Facebook, their algorithm for some reason puts all these attractive women as people you might know. I don't know why they do that. That's just what they do.
Meant for
That's
you.
I
not
feel like they
bad.
understand how we get down. And so she and I were chatting for a while in the DM, and we ended up talking on the phone for a bit. And she expressed some disappointment and frustration at a post that I had made like a month ago, talking about the soft life. And I was talking about how like, can we swear on this thing? No,
Hell
yes, no,
yeah.
maybe.
absolutely.
Okay. I was like, because I feel like this whole soft life thing is getting a lot of women fucked up out here in these
Tell
streets.
us what that is.
So, from my understanding, it's the idea that you want to live a life that in which you are generally unbothered. You enjoy the finer things. You are generally not getting. This is my understanding of it. You're not dealing with the stress of men or fake friends or shit from your job and all that type of stuff. And to me, it sounds like soft life is like divorced from reality. And so my thing is, if a woman's talking about living a soft life, then I look at it two ways. Number one, she's trying to get her soft life endorsed by a man, right?
Uh huh.
And if that's the case, that's fine, but that comes with things. Like you don't just get a soft life and with no consequences. Like the dude's not gonna want anything; he's just gonna throw money away and give you and have you in Antigua or whatever, right? And if you are a woman who's building up to live a soft life, that means you're working. You're putting in your own work so you can retire early and do all this other stuff, but you getting your ass kicked, at your job or at your career, at your business or whatever. So to me, soft life is more of a fantasy because life is not like perpetually soft
It's
for
not
anybody.
designed to be soft.
Hey,
Okay.
Can I
Dustin,
interrupt with a definition? Is that okay?
Yes.
I was going to do the same thing, but go ahead, Chantel.
Okay, soft life, opposite of hard life. Where, and this is the Urban Dictionary definition, where you make decisions that leave you feeling stress-free and vibrating higher, less about wealth, although it helps, and more about making good choices. That's what Urban Dictionary says is the definition.
Now, I looked up a definition. It's very similar, but it's a little closer to what
To what he's saying?
Dustin was saying. And it says soft life refers to a lifestyle of comfort and relaxation with minimal challenges or stress. Some people use the term in reference to a life that involves wealth and luxury, while others interpret it simply being a simplified life unburdened from stress and responsibility. So, Dustin, first, according to the definition that both of us read, you could have that as the help of being somebody's sugar baby, correct? I mean, it doesn't say you have to work. It just says you want a life of wealth. Now, what was the
Right.
post? What was the post that you put up that triggered her?
Gosh, she brought it up so many times in like the few weeks that we talked, and I don't even remember it. I was like, "You still talking about this shit?" But it was basically like, if you want to live a soft life, and you can command a so-called soft life from a man who's gonna endorse you and give that to you, that's cool. But typically, that has an expiration date, right? So it's like, you get a little older. Things start getting a little soft. And if you have like a rich dude who likes his young women, he's gonna he's gonna cut off your soft life and go give it to somebody else. And that was pretty much my thing is, if you like a soft life, command one, get one, but have a backup plan. That's all.
Okay. So
Got it.
this was the topic, and so then.
So, so like basically, she and I talked for a bit. She lives in DC, but's from Chicago, where I live. We ended up at Essence Fest at the same time. I was with my friend, she was with hers. And she and I hung out a couple times, had a couple of good little meetups or whatever. And we FaceTime, we talked for hours on the phone, and everything was all good and well. And then her birthday came around on late July, like about a week and a half ago. And the first thing I did, first thing in the morning, I was like, "Woo, girl!" I texted her. I was like, "Oh, you 40 years old now? Look at you." And then she wrote me back. She's like, "Dustin, if that's your way of saying happy birthday, then you should try it again." And I'm like, "Whatever." I was like, "How you spending your prestigious morning?" Because she was turning 40 that morning, and she was in Antigua or Anguilla, I think. So she was like on an island doing her thing for her 40th birthday. Great. And she told me about her morning. And that day she told me that uh so her best friend is the younger sister of one of my best friends. And she told me that morning that their mother had passed away. Like first thing in the morning, like she had been sick for a long time. She passed away the morning of her birthday. And so anyway, I told her like, don't let it ruin your birthday. We move on later on in the day. Like I'm texting like, how's the finest 40-year-old doing? Da da da. And then she wrote me back and she's like, yo, if we can't agree on you saying happy birthday to me, I don't really understand what the issue is. She's like, if you don't text me happy birthday by midnight, I'm gonna block you. And I don't understand. I'm thinking she's like playing. I'm not sure exactly where her head is at with this. But I'm sitting over here. I'm like, are you serious? And I was like, oh shit, I don't want to get blocked. Happy birthday, girl. Happy birthday. And then I explained to her, I was like, yo, I don't really say happy birthday to anybody in my life. I'll find some other way to say it because you got 200 other motherfuckers telling you happy birthday. I like to distinguish myself, right? But I'm acknowledging your birthday. I did it first thing this morning. So it's not like I forgot it. And so that's what happened. And she's like, you know what, you skating on thin ice, Dustin? I'm putting you on timeout for 24 hours. So she put me on timeout. I'm sitting there like, what I do to get put on timeout? And she didn't respond. She didn't hit me back for another week. And I'm like, all right, well, she in the wind, so fuck it. It is what it is. So our friend's mother's funeral was this past Saturday. And I knew she was going to be there. She knew I was going to be there. So she texted me on Friday. She said, so, do you want to like chat real quick so it's not weird at the funeral? And I texted her back. I'm like, what is there to chat about? You ghosted me for a week. Like, what is there to chat about? And then she gave me an itemized list in text. She was like, number one, I told you I was putting you on timeout for 24 hours. She's like, number two, you pissed me off so badly that this demon that's inside of me, I felt it coming out, so I had to step away, or some demon, what the fuck she was talking about.
Okay.
And number three was, she's like, if you knew I was upset, why didn't you reach out?
Right. So okay. So basically, she just blocked you and discarded you for reasons that don't necessarily make sense. So do we feel, Chantel, Kris, do you feel that those reasons were too like strong?
Who we started with? We started with Kris.
Start with you, Chantel.
Well,
oh, go
Yeah,
ahead,
sure,
Kris.
go ahead.
Okay, what's the question? Wait, repeat it.
Were those two strong of reasons for her to block him and not speak to him for a week? What do you think? Is that too fast?
I'm not gonna lie. I don't really understand what she's upset about. I don't get it. Like I contextually understand that she wanted you to clearly, for her, saying the words "Happy Birthday" have a lot of meaning for her, right? And anything short of that, she doesn't have the ability to ingest for whatever reason. I don't personally get it. I don't understand it. I just don't get it. Do I think it's too harsh? I don't know if it's harsh, but it's definitely silly. It seems very
Fussy.
So,
it seems like
well,
something
so-
goofy to be upset about, honestly.
yes. So let me finish up. So I did respond to her and I said, hey, I was like, for you to be pissed off about me not wishing you, saying the words happy birthday, even though I acknowledged your birthday and I said nice things to you. I was like, that's kind of weak hearted for a purported like Southside Chicago nigga. Like she was like, I'm Southside Chicago. I was like, I don't understand. Like soft life must equal soft constitution. I don't know what that's about. But I was also like, don't even worry about the service. You gonna be over there. I'm gonna be over here. As far as I'm concerned, you don't exist. Ain't gonna be no awkwardness, and that's exactly what it was. We
Was that-
that
were
was
at
the
the
end
service.
of it.
I want to ask her, what is the big deal with hearing the word "happy birthday"? That's my question.
Okay,
I
so-
feel like I need to know
This
that.
falls under the umbrella of too fussy. So, Kris, what do you think?
I can't argue
Well,
with that.
I got a question first. This is somebody you've only talked to on the phone. Have you seen her in person?
No, we met up in New Orleans during Essence Fest. We went on a couple of dates. I had dinner with
Okay.
her and my guy, and then she and I had drinks separately from that. So we hung out together in person a couple times.
I
Wait,
was
now,
just
can we ask the question we all want to know? Did y'all do it?
No,
Okay.
nope.
Dang.
We
Well,
never.
Perplexing.
Nope.
I wasn't. That's the reason I was asking is I was trying to figure out why he was even dealing with this. But you hung out with her. I got it. So that makes sense to me.
Yeah, right. And
But
when
I
she
do,
and I was like, I was like, why didn't I reach out to you? I was like, I'm not reaching out to your ass. Like, if you ghosted me because I didn't say the words happy birthday to you, I really don't care about what you got going on. I'll never reach out to you.
yeah,
That's just
yeah,
kind of my thing.
Well,
yeah.
that's what your boy Khalid said.
Yes,
He said he would
I-
have waited 2 more weeks to say happy
That-
birthday after that.
Justin,
Not 2 more weeks. Good Lord.
Justin's a little more hardcore with it than probably I was when I was out in those single streets. But as I try and tell, I do think she was being a little doing the most over nothing.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I-
okay,
I-
so this.
And I think some guys would have even dealt with that. You let her know how you feel. But yeah, I do think she was doing the most, over something that was, to me, small.
Kris, you don't think
Right.
a guy just to kind of like get over it would be like whatever, happy birthday?
He
Even though
did,
Dustin did that.
I
Dustin
did that. I did that.
So where are you?
I was like, happy birthday.
But
I was like, happy
somebody,
birthday.
that you did say happy birthday to her, just kind of
Yeah.
placate the situation.
but for somebody she's not intimate with, let's just
Mm-hmm.
hypothetically say Justin was thinking about it. Maybe she wanted to be married. That could have been Mrs. Right. She's thrown herself off course over nothing. She doesn't know him. They haven't slept. They haven't been intimate. Why she's so upset?
Right.
That's crazy to me.
Right, well, that's what
my
Mina,
question.
and Mina says. Mina says makes a good point. It sounds like hearing happy birthday is a trigger. Sounds like she was triggered, unresolved trauma. right?
Yeah, she needs some
Yeah.
hugs.
So maybe
Right.
that's
So
something that goes on
and,
there.
and so I didn't finish the follow up message, which is the last message that she sent me. But it started off with, I wasn't just pissed off that you didn't say happy birthday. I was, because what I did in my message, I sent her a happy birthday, but then I took a picture of myself, a selfie in the Soho House pool, and I was like, happy birthday from Soho House. So I just a
You're not
little
supposed to take
selfie
pictures
with
in
her.
there, but whatever.
Are you
Yeah,
not?
well, yeah, yeah,
Oh.
we ain't gonna talk about that, right? There was nobody else but me in the shot, so I was like, fuck it. But anyway, so she was like, I had a problem with the fact that you sent a photo of yourself from a pool on my birthday. And she capitalized MY. She was like, you sent a picture of yourself from a pool on my birthday. That's what she said. She had a problem with that.
Okay,
She was
Yeah.
on an island. She was on an island somewhere.
she's on some other shit.
Would she have
So
preferred you send her a picture of herself in a pool and
I
say
yo,
happy birthday?
I don't know. So this shit was the most ridiculous thing I have ever, and I've encountered some ridiculous shit. Gina knows, but this was like, yo,
well,
and
okay.
she admitted, she was like, yo, there's like, you don't know what my background and my triggers and trauma have to do with happy birthday, and that's fair. But I don't know that because I'm getting to know you.
Mm-hmm.
And so you should not hold that against me as someone who's getting to know you.
Right,
And on
because
top of
your
that,
triggers are not your responsibility.
Yeah.
exactly, especially if I don't know what they are. But
Right,
then there's
exactly.
also a sense of control because you're trying to control how I say things. Like you're controlling what's coming out of my mouth to placate your ass, which is a whole separate conversation right there.
That's
So
different. Okay, so let's
yeah.
go back to the original topic. This falls under the umbrella of, and I've known other people to rule out possible dates on really weird shit like that, right? Like Chantel, what is the weirdest reason why you've ruled out a guy as a dating prospect?
If he holds the fork wrong, I've said this on my podcast a bajillion times. I have definitely stopped dating people if they were holding a spoon like a shovel or they knife like
Oh, yeah,
a
the shovel.
like a pitchfork. God, I
That's
can't
it.
do it.
I don't know if that's being fussy. That says a lot about it.
Really?
It does. It says
I,
something
I,
about how a person was raised.
I tell you if I disagree. I feel you on that. It's like I've seen a woman one time. uh, She spit like
Well,
a
that's
guy,
gross, though.
But wait,
but
what was she doing to spit? Was y'all
but
just walking down the street, she spit, or did she just get finished running?
I mean
It's kind of important.
Well, I don't think I'd spit under any circumstances, though.
this was a while back.
Unless I had a cold. I don't
I see.
understand why I would do that.
But it's
I,
the way she spit. It's not like, oh, something's in my mouth. Oh, it was like a guy, like she could probably spit
that is so
14 feet, that type of spit. And I was
oh,
like,
no,
yeah,
no.
it was just bad
But
after
see,
that.
that's not okay. So that's to me that's gross. Okay, so that's not particularly fun. Like, okay,
But people spit things out, is what I'm saying. You know.
yeah,
Like
but
sunflower
not-
seeds?
No, see, here's the way I feel about it. Go do that someplace else. Do it in a
Right.
napkin. Be discreet, right? But do not just
There
start
you-
spitting like you
Yeah.
are chewing tobacco. Like that's disgusting. So yeah, I get that.
Yeah, I
I
probably-
once did not date a guy. This is funny. I was young, and this guy kept flirting with me. He's like, I used to live down the street from the Newberry Library, in the Gold Coast, and he was a librarian, and I found that ultra unsexy, and so I was like, I'm not dating him.
A person who likes to read thinks being a librarian is unsexy.
Being a male librarian to me was
She was young. That was a long time. It's like being a male nurse.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's pretty fussy.
That's fussy.
That's pretty fussy.
Right? That is fussy. I will agree. That is fussy. But I was just not turned on by it. Like, I just thought that was, but could that have been a significant person in my life? I don't know. Was I throwing out the baby with the bathwater? Who knows?
A little
Maybe
bit.
I was.
A little bit.
Is that something that I shouldn't have? I mean, I'll never know. But in retrospect, I think, okay, Gina, now that was kind of ridiculous, right?
A little, yeah, that was. I thought my fourth thing was bad.
Well, I
I want to ask Justin this because I hear similar stories from my single buddies in terms of getting to know someone where the relationship is fairly new. And a lot of them, Justin, do you see a lot of women, even before you get to know them, are really going in on how you're even speaking to them and you don't even know them that well. I mean, you're being cordial, but they're very like they try to get down on guys, like they get really upset if instances like this. This is not uncommon from what I'm hearing from.
You're saying in terms of what do you mean how they talk?
Like let's say
Like,
they I guess they go on these dating apps, right? Or they go in somebody's
yeah.
DM, and maybe they haven't even gone out on a date with a woman yet, and already they're showing me these long texts of something she said that he said wrong or didn't like, and it's real long. I'm just that much energy into something that's so new is weird to me.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a wide range of what's considered wrong. Like a lot of dudes getting these dating apps and they match and they're like, "Hey, sexy," or "How you doing, gorgeous?" Blah. And I can understand why women don't like that because
Right.
Hey,
it's no
shorty.
creativity. Yeah, it's no creativity. It doesn't show anything about you, right?
And you just did
But
it to 50 other women.
So
you,
Gina,
yep,
Toothpaste.
Gina.
Yeah.
So to that point, I won't mention any names.
Okay.
We had a guest on the show. They reached out to another guest on the show. These people knew each other through me, right?
Right.
The gentleman in question is his mom. He's taking care of his mom. His mom is really sick. Takes care of his daughter. He has a really nice deck. Entertains outside. After a few conversations, he suggests. He says she's going to church. He suggests that she come by, well, stop by. We can have a drink outside. She sent him a note and then sent it to me this long on text. Why that's inappropriate. You know, they haven't gone out on a date yet. He's asking her to come by. What's his real intentions? And I'm thinking, A, this was a soft lead, number one. And the man just told you he's taking care of his sick mother in the house, and his daughter's there. And he said, okay, stop by after church, let's have a drink, blah, blah, blah. They hadn't seen each other. But after that long text, he was just not interested.
After the long text that she sent him, upset about what he asked her to do, like the way
I think she probably sent him a text saying how Kris said that her coming over was inappropriate. I assume, right?
yeah.
Right.
And because she sent, her diatribe about why it's inappropriate for her to come over to his house, that he then was turned off.
Okay.
Why,
Well,
why not
Which I
simply
actually agree
say,
with her.
why not simply say, hey, you know what? Can't come by the other day, or something short. And then go off with your girlfriend and say, well, what did he really mean? Because she still after that, they talk to each other. She's like, well, why he hasn't reached out? Because he's put you in the crazy person's bag already.
right.
But do you put somebody in a crazy person's bag because they just said that they didn't think it was appropriate for her
If
to
I've
come over
never
here?
met you, and you just don't like that I invited you over for a drink outside, and you give me all of this, that relationship is just gonna get worse when it's something real.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, you don't need to provide. All you have to do is say no.
I agree.
That's all I'm saying.
All you have to do is say no. You don't need to say, and another thing, and then, and if you
Yeah,
think,
right.
and if you thought, yeah, it's all that.
Okay.
All that's not particularly.
And she's
But
like, Kris, I caught him. She's like, I caught him. I'm like, what do you mean caught him? I was like,
was
you
she-
don't want
so,
to meet me about
Do we think that's too fussy? Like, do we think that she was being too fussy?
hell to the yeah.
I don't know
You
if she
think
was
yes?
being too fussy. Maybe being a little emotional. Because I kind of agree with her. I don't know you. I'm not comfortable or ready to come over your house. But the reaction was,
There was a lot.
I don't understand the reaction. Well, I also didn't
Yeah.
read what she said. But
if
to
the-
send a long thing seemed
It was
like
real long.
a overreaction to an invite.
Sounds like a lot. Like, okay, another situation, it's kind of similar in a way. I have a friend who, a guy asked her out on a date, and he said, let's go out on Saturday. And so she's like, great, let's go out on Saturday. Well, Thursday rolls around. Say he asked her out maybe on Monday for Saturday. Thursday rolls around. She hasn't heard a confirmation. Friday rolls around, no confirmation. But Saturday morning, he reached out to say, okay, well, are we, still on for this afternoon? And she was mad because she felt like he should have confirmed with her the day before.
She doesn't deserve a date.
Um,
No. She sucks.
She sucks. Oh my god.
Um,
Hey, I got one.
I
So
kind of understand her, but again, I feel like that's of an overreaction a bit.
Okay.
But I understand what she means. Like,
Well, I mean, if he
Yeah.
left her, if she felt that, I mean, but if they had concrete plans for Saturday,
yeah, but shit changes.
well, I guess so. But if you don't hear from me, that means it didn't. I don't know. I thought that was a little much.
I got one as soon as Dustin,
so yeah, you good. So this actually happened out here in Miami earlier this year. I was dating a woman for maybe about, let's say, 3-4 weeks. We went out 4 or 5 times. And we had like good chemistry going on. We didn't like go all the way, but we made out, heavy petting, all that good stuff. And she's Haitian, so I was like, hey, I never been to a good Haitian restaurant. You got a recommendation? And she's like, yeah. I'll look up something. So she found a place that was literally 3 minutes from where I live out here, and it was like damn near walking distance. And she lives out in Aventura, which is like north of Miami. So it would take her maybe about 20-25 minutes to drive down, to come down there. She's like, dinner's on me. She's like, you've been paying for all the dates. She's like, I got dinner this time. And I'm like, all right, great. So then when I figure out how close the place is, I hit her up. I'm texting her. I was like, why don't you just come and scoot? And since you're passing by my house, just come by and I'll just jump in the car and we can roll over together. And then she texted me back. She's like, oh, that's cool that you live so close. She's like, but I would still rather meet at the restaurant if you like. And I texted her back. I was like, are you saying that you won't pick me up? She's like, yes. She's like, yes, is that okay? And I was like, I have to know why. I was like writing and I had to call her. I called her. I was like, so what's going on? Like, you passing by my house, you're not going out your way. Just, we don't both have to pay to park. Come grab me. She's like, that's a little weird to pick a dude up for a date. That was her conclusion. I was like, pick a dude up for a date. I was like, we've met at all the other dates we've had before. It ain't like I ain't got no transportation, you've been scooping my ass up. And I told her, I was like, she's like, is that not weird to you? And I remember I lost my famous cool. I was like, no, it's not weird to me. I'm like, I asked her, I was like, what year are we in right now?
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Justin. Was she taking? I thought she said she was taking you out.
See, Kris is where I am.
Yeah.
Right. She's paying for the meal, but she don't want to pick me up to take me to dinner. And I was like, is something wrong with her car? Nope. She had like
That's
a
what I was
brand new
gonna say.
BM. She had a brand new BMW X5. I was in it. It's clean as a button. It ain't like she carrying a bunch of shit. That's not a
You already
problem.
been in a car?
I'd already been in her car, but I was like, I got in her car after a date. That's where we made out and all that stuff. But like,
Wait, so you've already hooked up with this
Doesn't
woman?
make any sense.
Wait, have you
we
already
had-
hooked up with her?
we had
Girl,
that.
get me some head in the car, but I can't ride in it.
And I told her, I fled. I was like, I don't respect that because I don't understand it. And she was like, well, we ain't got to go out tonight. I was like, we sure don't. And that was it.
Oh, seriously? So you guys didn't even have dinner?
Nope.
So
was
would
it.
it have been would it have been a tragedy for you to just meet her there?
No, it would not have. Not even a little bit. But that's not the point. I was like, you're not going out of your way. Just come and scoop me up. It was like the principalities involved. I didn't understand why she couldn't just scoop me up because it didn't make sense. I had very little respect for her reasoning. And that was it. Yeah, I was like, this is dumb. I was like, this is stupid. Pick me the fuck up. I'm right there. Why we both gotta go and park at the same time when you passing right by me?
I just need women to be consistent. You can't pay for the date, but be offended
Bruh.
by picking him up. That just don't make
I
any
know that does
sense.
not make any sense.
Bruh.
I agree 100%.
Well,
Gina B, I got one. Gina B, I told you about this. It's not a child show, but this is a long time ago, back when I was going to motels. And I actually got into an argument with a girl, and we left. We didn't do nothing because she was upset because I wouldn't let her lick my right. Now, it
You're,
was a long, hot day. I was a little sweaty.
His butt.
I'm trying to
Oh.
save her. That ain't really my thing. I'm more of a do not do E. And I'm trying to save her. She was like, well, you always get to do stuff and blah, blah, blah. I was like, whoa, you tripping, right? And she was really upset. Like
I've
trying to
never
almost
been
hold my
like-
leg down. I was almost me too. I'm like, well, wait a minute. No,
I don't feel
no.
like she's being too fussy. If she wanted
She wanted to
do
lick
it,
your ass.
I'll really see. I think
Man,
that's
I
funny.
just it was like 85 degrees. It was I probably took a shower in the morning. It was 10 at night. We ended up leaving. We just left.
You left because
She
was
wanted a
out.
little seasoning on it. That's all.
Yeah.
She wanted to dominate you, Chris, and you wouldn't let her.
Maybe
Is
that
that
was
fussy?
the younger me. Now, you
I
know,
don't think
older
so.
me guys
Actually, I
said,
think
you know
Chris was
what?
tripping. Honestly,
An older
Chris
me.
Chris was
right?
being too fussy at that point.
He was being too prissy. He was being
Tell
prissy.
me.
All right, I got
Yeah.
one.
All right, I'm
So
sorry.
I'll
Maybe
t-
it's for me.
I was talking to my friend yesterday, and she was telling me about this guy she was dating. She's no longer dating him. They went out. They had been out a few times at this point, but he took her out of town, and they were out somewhere having drinks. She bought the first round of drinks. She got like a glass of champagne, and I think he had like some bourbon. So then he went and got the second round of drinks, and when he brought the drinks back, he said to her, and I quote, why are you always buying the most expensive thing on the menu?" She was automatically turned off because she was like,
Yeah.
it's
That's
not
not a
like
fan of you.
I ain't bought you drinks. It's not like I even didn't buy my drinks for myself.
Yeah,
Right.
he played.
So why you so bothered about this? And she said he had said it intermittently over like a week or so, but at that moment she was just like, no.
Yeah, there's too much tension on that. Like, I don't like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now if she's drinking like 6 drinks a day. I mean, if she one of them, 'cause some women can drink.
I mean, she can drink, but that's
I
not
know,
even
I
the
can.
point. Like, she's
I
buying
think-
drinks.
I think
He's
he's
my-
wrong on this. I think he's petty on that.
Yeah.
I
If
mean,
she's
unless it was
buying
like a
drinks and he's buying-
$400 glass of champagne, I'm like, why
Yeah.
are you so?
Or if it'd be different, if when she bought her own drink, she bought herself a less expensive
And she
drink.
said that.
And then she amped it up when he was going to buy the
She
drink.
said exact same thing.
And,
Yeah.
and you know what? And you know what I say? He'd gone out with her before, knew how she was, and chose to keep going out. That's on you, player. That's not on her.
Right.
That's just how I feel.
Well, you know, I got one for you on the heels of that. So, I went out on a date once with this guy, and I don't know if I wrote a column about this or not. I might have. I think I did. And first of all, it was a bar. I did not want to go to this bar, but it was a bar that I liked. But it was a kind of romantic bar.
Mm-hmm.
But that wasn't. I just liked the bar. And so first he got freaked out because he's like, "Oh, this is a very romantic place." And I was like, "It's just a bar that I go to all the time that I like, and they have good martinis, whatever." So once we get over that, I meet him, and before I could even get my left butt cheek in the booth, he tells me, "Okay, how about this? How about I get the first round and you get the second round?" I haven't even sat my ass down in the booth, and so I was like, "Okay."
He's assuring himself of never getting any with that.
Oh,
That
I
is
would say, how about I buy all my drinks and you buy
He
all your
never
drinks?
saw me
that is what I
again.
call a
I made sure-
that's a panty dryer upper line. Don't say
Listen,
that.
especially, I have male friends that treat me way better. And so I was like, all right, cool. So I'm like, how long is it going to take me to have 2 rounds of drinks with this motherfucker? So we had 2 rounds of drinks. I bought my round. He bought his round. I was like, okay, it's been real. I left. He never saw me again. Because I was just like, no, you're not just going to be, like, if
Nickel and dime,
if you have tension with your money on a martini, then I don't know what to do with you.
I'm with you.
You know what I'm saying? If it's that deep, nope.
Again, if it was like a $300 glass of bourbon, I
Right.
get why you having that reaction.
What are our
but
comments, Brian? We got.
is that Al Pacino?
He says he's horrible. He is horrible. He was horrible. Al Pierce is right. He was so horrible. What else?
What's
we got?
good,
You
Al
ready?
Pierce? Mendel
Yes.
Monarch in the
Someone
building.
went on a date that ate with his mouth open. Oh, girl,
Oh,
no.
Mina says someone went on a date with Abe with his mouth open. Okay, you know
Absolutely
what?
not.
Chantel,
That's no home training.
I want to ask. I want to get a little I mean, these are cool. I want to get a little deeper with a question for Chantel. This is the real story, a buddy of mine. He's an electrician.
Okay.
Girl liked him. They went out, coffee or tea or whatever. It was a lunch date or something. She told him, and she liked him. She commented, "Who is that?" I knew both of them. She told him she did not want to go out any further because he did not have a college degree. Now,
Ooh.
the man makes a lot of cash. He's an electrician. He's you know,
How old are these people? Tell me she was like 25 when this happened.
no, like 50.
50?
It's actually pretty wild for 50. That's pretty wild for 50.
That's pretty lame. You 50. Like, who cares about a college degree at 50?
Okay.
And I even told him, I'm like, look,
We're gonna
dude
go
got
back to that
more
one.
money than most dudes. You know, the man travels on his own. His kids are grown. You know, he got some expendable income. You know, that's the dude and even my wife was like, she's stupid. And I was like, I thought it was just me.
I would understand if she was like, nah, I mean, like every other word, that I'd be like, this is not
Nope,
gonna work.
none
But
of
if
that.
he's well spoken, who cares?
And listen, someone always needs an electrician.
I mean,
Look, I wish I
Right.
had one
I
in my
need an electrician.
toolkit.
If any
Right.
sisters out there, one
I would have the
Look,
best
I need
wired
an
house in the
electrician.
block. Oh my god, stop that.
and
You
an
know?
electrician also knows somebody who, a HVAC person who knows
Oh, yeah.
a Tyler who.
They are
look
hooked
at
up.
you. See, wait a minute. Chantel, now you thinking. You know what? You're impressing me today. You're impressing me today.
I'm telling you, this is
Yeah, I
this
mean-
is important.
She's been on the money. You know, usually it's something I disagree with. She's been on the money today.
Look, I am always logical, and this shit just don't make no goddamn sense.
Yeah, that doesn't
All
make
right.
any sense to me
And
whatsoever.
I think all of this is like I feel like all of this is like a bigger conversation about men, and, especially in the black community, with men and women's expectations and how all of that is evolving, like at a relatively rapid pace. Like the shit that flew in our parents' generation doesn't fly now, especially in our grandparents' generation, it doesn't go now. Black women are making more money than black men. You know, it's one of those things where it's like women can do more. Women don't need men like they used to. And so it's like everybody's struggling with this, like on both sides. And I hear it and I see it all the time. Like when me and Gina used to write about relationships back in like the mid 2000s, I wish I was writing about it more now because I think it's fascinating what's going on right now, especially amongst the Negroes as we try to figure out how to
The
navigate.
Negroes got it all. They got it all mixed. I agree with
Yeah.
everything you said. However, most people, most Americans, you know, I know we talked about, you know, maybe we are not the most hood group right here, but most people ain't making that much money like they say.
That's true.
In fact, and the fact is that the average black man still makes more money than the average black woman. Now, the reason is, dude, because they're not paying women what they should be getting paid. But that's another show. But my point is, the income, it ain't that different that people just can't find each other.
Right.
And that's what I'm struggling with. I see a lot of folks can't find somebody. The money's the issue. But everybody ain't making that. Only literally 18% of all men make over 100 grand. Only 8% of all black men make over 100 grand. Now, the women is a little low. So why is it all these people saying ain't nobody like money is such a big? I don't get it.
All right,
I do get it.
I'm gonna sound like Chris the Critic for about a minute and a half.
Good for you.
I'm gonna stop after a minute.
I can't
but
wait to hear this.
So
I can't wait to hear
'cause
these.
Chris
I'm
has
up here
said
like-
something like this. I do think social media, and not to totally blame social media because this is our responsibility, right? Social media has created this environment where everybody is trying to get a Ken and a Barbie doll, right? Everybody wants somebody you can show off and people can be impressed by, and people go, ooh, how'd you find him? How'd you find her? Blah, blah, right? We want these models of people who most of the time don't even fucking exist.
They don't exist.
Even the Boris Kojos, I'm sure if I met him, wouldn't be the Boris Kojo in my
I've
head.
met him.
He's not the Boris Kojo in my head, I'm sure.
Yeah,
You'd have to fight my
Oh,
wife.
yeah.
I was trying. Or
That's
any
it.
of those people. Everybody just want perfection that doesn't exist, and it's like,
Chantel, I have nothing to add. I actually wrote that down. You dropped the gem with the Ken and Barbie. I was like, this.
So no more be a cat. A kid, not a cat.
Hey, that's always gonna work. That's always
That's
gonna
right.
work.
Well, to build on Chantel's point, though, it's like because online dating, you put a profile out there and the floodgates open. It appears that people are more expendable than they really are because you feel like there's always someone else that's gonna swipe on me or whatever it is. Online dating.
Yep, that could have more money.
But someone else always comes along, so you feel like you can just discard people for really stupid reasons, just because there's always someone else out there. And then when you really delve into the online dating world, as a lot of my friends have, you realize that that's just as much of a cesspool as
it's even more.
the bar.
It's even more.
And then they can lie about all kinds of shit online.
Justin brought up a good point that it was actually, we've done the show, Unrealistic Dating Expectations, before.
Yep.
And what was weird, you see a lot of guys these days, especially the young ones, barely know a chick, talking about they want her to be submissive. That's sort of crazy. That's crazy in of itself. They try to get women by flashing the little bit they have, and then don't like the person they got. She's not listening to me. She's not doing well. She's only with you if you show her that bread. Like so
show them in the water is with your money.
And so you get what you get. And men go through that a lot, and they should know it. You got better success introducing yourself. Hey, how you doing? My name is so and so. You look nice. You was like you. And just go at it like that. It gets you in a little bit better. And on the flip side, a lot of, I don't know, I see a lot of women, they'll name the same type of guy, all of them.
Yeah.
And I'm always thinking to myself, are you going to be this tall? You're going to be this, you're going to be that one. I'm like, okay, that guy that you're thinking about, does he want you? And see, people don't, when I was 6, I said, Justin, you ain't never heard me say this. When I found out girls like dudes with cars, I went out and got a part-time job so I can get a car. I'm gonna do whatever they want me to do. And today people don't do that. They think someone should just, men and women, somebody should just be with them just because.
Well, I've got some tips.
I'm all of that.
I've got tips for the last few minutes of our time here, Kris.
I'm talking about.
Whose show is this? Let's go.
It's the Gina show.
I've got some
Gina
tips.
Show. I'm in the middle of nowhere hoping a bobcat or a bear don't get me.
Where are you, Kris?
In the vineyard.
I'm in Martha's Vineyard, but the Airbnb, my wife, I'm not going to blame her. I hope she's not watching. It's in the middle of nowhere. My mother said, so we drive and we go off the Wood Street. All of a sudden we're off terrain on a rocky road. It's like nothing here.
I think you'll be okay. There are no bobcats.
How big is Martha's Vineyard?
Pretty big. Okay, so here are some signs that you're too picky or fussy in your dating life. Everybody ready to take some notes?
Let's go.
I'm ready to take some notes.
Let's do it.
You can't put your finger on why that person is not good enough, right? So if someone you started dating is just not your type, but you can't put
That's
your finger
strong right
on
there,
it,
Jenny B. That's strong.
That
That's
might
strong
not be
right there.
that might be a bad sign.
That's strong.
Number 2, you want every box checked or no relationship at all. And there's a lot of single people who sit and be single because they have 10 boxes, only 9 are checked. They're like, hell no, I want that 10th box.
You 1 inch too short.
Nope. Number 3, you haven't had a long-term relationship in a while or ever. Okay? Maybe you just haven't met anyone worth your while, or maybe you haven't been open to a relationship.
I got in trouble, y'all. I got a text saying don't mention you watching the show.
Don't do
Just
what?
keep going. Don't even mention it.
Okay, let's not.
Mrs. Critic texted me like, did you mention me?
No, now you are. She prompted you. Okay, number 4, you believe a perfect person is out there. There is no perfect person. There may be somebody who's really good for you, but nobody is absolutely perfect. Number 5, you base your decisions on a pros and cons list rather than what you actually want. They're two different things, right? Because sometimes a con for somebody else will be a pro for you.
Yep.
And to add to that, I'm a believer in putting together not a wants list, but a needs list.
Yeah.
Because I want a lot, but what do I need?
Exactly.
So,
That's
you
a
know.
good addendum to this because it's true.
Yeah.
What you need is sometimes very different than what you actually want. Number
Oh,
6,
yeah.
you're fixated on qualities that just don't matter.
It's true.
Like, maybe you don't like his haircut. Maybe you don't like what he wears. That could probably change.
It can absolutely change.
Does
Put on different
does he
clothes.
does he have good bones? Is he a good person? Like, does he have ethics? Is he a good, guy?
Yeah.
Is he-
Well, what
Right,
matters
right.
it doesn't matter. It's so relevant, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And then finally, you really don't want to be in a relationship. If you're picky to the point where your friends and family are telling you repeatedly that you were dumb to turn him down, you were dumb to turn her down, maybe what you really don't want is a relationship. You need to come to terms with that.
I think that is such a brilliant point. I think a lot of people believe they want to be in relationships, and if they really dug down, they would be like, "Nah, I just enjoy dating
I don't want
and
to
meeting people."
compromise. I don't want to do any of the things that you need to do to actually be in a relationship. I just want to complain and I want to get some occasional sex.
Yeah, and there's something odd about that, but there's nothing wrong with it.
There's nothing wrong with it.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, like, as long as you own it,
I agree.
But don't be out there saying, I really can't find a good person, when you're setting yourself up and you're setting them up for failure.
Yeah, just say
I
I
feel like-
like meeting new people all the time.
I feel like we're at work, and Dustin doesn't want to be seen on the Zoom call.
I'm like, right.
I'm like,
Justin is
he's like, "Huh,
doing
somebody asked
laps
me a
and
question."
shit.
Huh?
He
Somebody
eating
asked me-
dinner.
I mean, the next time, Dustin, we don't know. If
You
we
ain't
can,
think we knew, did you?
Dustin, we don't know if we can bring you back. You're doing laps outside. I told you. Like, what's
Dustin, hey,
happening over
Dustin got a
there?
lot
know
going
what?
on. The man
I
said he
respect
was
it.
in
So
Miami.
what happened was
He on
what happened
Collins. I
was-
know exactly
He's a
where he is. He
single
on
man
Collins
in
Street.
Miami.
Oh,
He got a
he's
lot
on
going
Collins.
on.
No, I'm in Coral Springs. I'm not in Collins.
Yeah, he's not
Oh,
in
okay.
Collins.
Oh,
Yeah,
Coral
I know
Gables.
Collins.
Excuse me. Coral Gables.
Oh, he fancy. Okay.
Are you
So
in the Gables?
Chantel,
Yeah, I'm in the Gables.
this place, these events that they have in here, I'd never heard of this place when I was younger at all.
Martha's Vineyard?
They hid it from me.
They hid Martha's Vineyard from you?
It's
The
where
whole
they-
vineyard?
it's where all the Negroes go to get way more money than me go.
Dustin, mute out.
That's
Thank you.
that's why I
found
don't.
that-
That's why I'm not there. I don't have that kind of money.
They walking around with polos turned up.
Well, do you want to know why I don't go? I used to go and I don't really find it exciting.
Well, if they're standing around with polos with the collars turned up, doesn't sound like my type of party either.
I'm, a
You know
little,
what's
I'm too much of a partier to be at Martha's
Hey,
Vineyard.
they brought some Chicago here for this. And we had last night I saw Damon Williams hosted, George Wilborn perform. They had some good comedians.
There's a show. I don't know. It's coming up. I think this weekend where there's Avery Sunshine and Music Soul Child, and one of my friends is promoting it. So
You know what, Chris, me, you, Gina, we gonna commit because there is a Martha Vineyard like place in Michigan, and we should.
what are you talking about? New Buffalo?
No, I have to go look at it. I don't know. I have to go
You
look
got
at
to
some.
keep
Yeah,
You got
Harbor
some money in
Country and
the-
New Buffalo. Harbor Country
You
is
got some
dope.
money up in New Buffalo.
Watch
I
out.
grew up going to
The
New
Vineyard.
Buffalo.
We got a Martha's Vineyard adjacent right here in Michigan. We need to
But
take our.
no, it's not the same.
It's not the same.
Just
Chantel.
saying.
Chantel, listen. It's so much money here. If I leave the door open, somebody might break in and leave some money. It's like the safest
How
place
they
on
gonna
earth.
get to you? You in the middle of nowhere, Martha's Vineyard.
You know what I'm saying? You let the kids walk around. Listen to me.
We ain't talking about that. His wife.
Oh yeah, let me say exactly. Let's just stop
I
talking.
know,
about it.
right?
We'll talk offline. We'll talk offline.
So, yeah. Well, Chris, how long are you there to be corrupted by all of this money?
I don't have the money. It's just here.
Now, how long are you going to be there?
Saturday.
Oh, okay. So he's got a couple more days.
Oh,
live
to be
good
with
life.
the
Dustin-
Boulets.
Dustin, how
Yeah,
long are you
right.
going to be in Miami?
Till next week, late next weekend. My birthday is on Sunday, so the weekend after that.
Oh, so
Happy
that's
birthday,
right. You're a
bro.
Leo. I keep forgetting you're a Leo. My dad's birthday. Everyone should wish my father today is his 97th birthday.
Happy
Happy
birthday, Gina's
Mr.
daddy.
Bard.
Yeah,
What a blessing.
I know, right?
Okay, so what celebrity musicians are gonna be calling him today to wish
Oh
him
God,
happy
I don't
birthday?
know who called him today. Anybody could have. Like,
Quincy Jones, Jesus.
probably
Dana,
Buddy,
Aerosmith.
Jana, you know who I want to ask to
Buddy
be on
Guy
the show?
called, I think.
Jana,
Chuck D
you know who I
called for
want
sure.
You know who I want to ask to be on the show? So we're watching Eric Holder and the musician Kim was talking to people in a town square, right?
Right.
And I see Derek Fisher with old girl that Matt Barnes used to be married to.
I don't know
Right.
who you're talking
That's
about.
I know exactly who you're talking to. Her
I was this
Gloria
close. Yeah,
Govan.
right.
That's her maiden name.
I was this close to being like, y'all should be on this show because you know I went up holler now.
What they gonna talk about? How Matt almost beat up Derek?
Man, because he's not the tallest guy, and that I wouldn't have been fighting over her. I hope she's not watching. She wears a lot of makeup.
sure she's
a
Well,
lot.
according to Matt, they were not fighting over Gloria. They were fighting over the boys. I'm just telling you what Matt said.
It's getting dark out here, y'all. I'm about to
Yeah,
leave.
and the mosquitoes are gonna come get you. So we need to stop this anyway because we're at time. Next up is In the Zone.
Woohoo!
What are you guys talking about tonight?
I mean, we can't help but talk about Fade in the Water.
I am
We just
so
can't-
sad
We
that I'm
we
missing
can't.
that.
We gotta talk about Fade in the Water. So we are
That's
gonna
gonna be
be
awesome.
dissecting the Memphis brawl.
Memphis.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, not Memphis. Montgomery. Sorry, I've been
Montgomery,
calling it Fade in the
Alabama.
Water. I almost forgot
It's
where
the
it was.
Alabama Slammer, girlfriend. Come on
We
now.
gonna break down. You know,
I called it the
what this means for
reparations
black
Royal
people.
Rumble.
The reparations
Bro,
rumble.
I
Okay.
like that too. Like, what is? First of all, my one biggest question is why are black people so hype to watch white people get beat down like that? So we gonna be
Because white people are hype when black people get beat down.
we gonna talk about that and a whole host
That's a
of other
hypothetical
questions.
shit.
That's a hype, baby.
Immediately on the In the Zone podcast Facebook page and YouTube page in about 10 minutes. So catch us live.
All right.
Wait a minute, whoa. I got one more now.
Yes.
Coming up, I got to get the date. I am remiss. So, one of our guests, Goody Howard.
Oh, goody.
Goody Howard is going to be in Chicago on her Rideology tour
She's riding in.
Friday, August 18th, 7 to 9 p.m. Again,
Oh, damn it.
Goody Howard, I don't know if y'all see this, is going to be on her Rideology tour. Ladies, she takes the intimacy game to a whole nother level. Go to askgoody.com for details. That's ASK Goody GOODY.com for more details. She will be in town. And I'll talk about it next week in depth. I might even bring on just shout it out. Friday, August 18, 2023. That's all I got,
love it.
JD.
All right, good people. Peace and grease. Chris.
Chris,
See you
send me
next
the link to that.
Justin,
Y'all be cool.
Justin, where can people find
We'll
your
do.
writing?
You can find everything on Instagram and Twitter on Justice2K, JUSTICE number 2, letter K. So
Okay.
that's the way to get to everything.
I'm about to
Awesome.
follow you right now.
Yep. You'll
All
you'll be tantalized.
You said
All right, good
Justice
people.
2K?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful week.
Good night.
Good night.